about you, but I'm quite fed up actually of going into supermarkets and seeing that every single thing that's healthy is related to either low sugar or low fat. There must be more to food than just sugar and fat. Just imagine a world where someone that has diabetes could go to their local supermarket and get a cereal bar that would actively lower their diabetes. I'm not talking about a cereal bar with low sugar or low fat. I'm talking about a cereal bar with an added ingredient, an added natural ingredient from another food source that would go into their body and actively lower their diabetes. Now, this is not a dream. This is reality. And today I'm going to talk to you about how we're going to get this dream going and what we're doing now to get it going. But first, let me start about telling you where we're at today. So, in this room and globally, 1 on 3 people suffer from high blood pressure. Globally again, 1 on 14 people suffer from obesity. So if you look at obesity in the world, a lot of the globe is covered by orange and red, and that's not really healthy. And I wanted to see how this map would pan out in 100 or 250 years' time. How would this be? So I took the statistics of obesity over the past 30 years, the growth of obesity, and I plotted it against the growth of human population size. And this is what I get. Basically, in the future, a lot of people, most people will be obese. So this is no longer just a syndrome, your body's not working well. This is an epidemic. And we should be doing something about it. Now, these metabolic health syndromes like cholesterol, high blood pressure, obesity, they lead to more dangerous diseases such as chronic disease, such as cardiovascular problems and diabetes. And these cause about 1/4 of the deaths in the world every year. Now, when you go to your doctor with any of these conditions, whether it's cholesterol, obesity, or high blood pressure, or diabetes, they'll ask you a few questions. But the 2 most important questions are, do you smoke? And what do you eat? What type of diet do you have? So basically, in the past few years, food has become a problem. People in the world look at food as being a major problem for all these diseases. And in a way, we are eating more, yes. But I'm here to tell you that we shouldn't look at food as a problem. We should look at food as a solution to all these problems. Food contains a solution. And this is why I think so. If you take any food, whether it's a carrot, a glass of milk, or a biscuit, it contains millions and millions of molecules. Each of those contains millions of molecules. So it's not unlikely that within those millions of molecules, there might be ones that happen to interact with your body and give it good signals that if someone with cholesterol, it might actually lower their cholesterol. So it's not really unlikely. So going back 5 years ago when I started working in food, it was actually daunting enough because I came from a very, very different background. I came from pure mathematics and bioinformatics, which is basically the application of computers on biology. And it was very, very theoretical. And this project for me was really exciting because it allowed me to apply my knowledge to something that's real, to basically helping people live healthier and longer using food. So I was part of this amazing consortium here in Ireland with really amazing scientists around Ireland. And the aim of the project was to go into milk and try and find molecules that would actively lower these symptoms. Now, when I first started, I didn't know much about milk. So basically, I knew that milk contained millions and millions of molecules. But the project was interested in proteins and peptides. So basically, milk contains millions again of proteins, but there are about 1,000 different proteins in milk. So I just wanted to see how complex the image was. So basically, I calculated the possible number of peptides in milk. And I found there's over 5 billion different peptides in a glass of milk. That's a lot of peptides. So basically, when you start a project and you're not really from that area, you go back to what you know. And what I knew best was using computers and programming software to try and analyze genomes and species. And milk is really, for me, when I first started, I realized that milk is really interesting because it's the only food on Earth that has very, very closely co-evolved with mammals for over 200 million years. That's a lot of evolution. That means if you take milk from different mammals and you compare them, the differences in those milks between human, for example, to platypus, might be the reasons why these species are different. For example, milk in human might change a little bit compared to mouse, and those changes are important for human. So basically, by comparing all these species together, from platypus all down the way to human, I was able to look at different patterns. And this gave me a knowledge of how milk has evolved and those changes in patterns. So I took all that information and I coded software, etc. There's lots of layers. I won't go into any details. But basically, from the over 5 billion molecules of peptides that we had in milk, I could narrow it down to 30. So then those 30 were tested in the consortium on cells. And some of these 30, for example, showed they lower blood pressure, for example, by binding to certain proteins in your body and lowering blood pressure. They lowered infection and they lowered diabetes. Now, this is an important slide because what it says is that milk, something we drink on a daily basis, contains molecules that are potentially capable of lowering your diabetes. They might be in the right concentration, but they're there. They're potentially lower your cholesterol and they will potentially lower your infection and other diseases as well. But more importantly, what this slide really says is that we couldn't do this manually. Bioinformatics, which is the use of computers in food, is the way forward. It's the way that we'll get to the market quickly. It's the way to mine these molecules and find them in a very fast way. So this has been done on milk. But here, this slide shows you that all foods are related. Their DNA, their genetics are related. So what we've done on milk can be applied on any other food. As you can see here, an apple and a cracker are related as well. Things you never think when you're eating them, actually, that they are related. So basically, by tweaking those approaches, you can apply them on any type of food and find new molecules in food that actively lower disease. Now, in the future, someone can actually go down to their supermarket and could buy a pizza that lowers their cholesterol. Now, you know, this might be fun, but if you think of the fundamentals of a pizza, it's simply based on flour, cheese, which is milk, and tomato. And all those have millions of molecules inside. So if someone could find molecules in tomato, for example, that would lower cholesterol, concentrated them, put them back in pizza, it is possible. But like anything in life, anything worthwhile, there's a lot of challenges. And one of the main challenges is taste. A lot of these molecules are not tasty. So, and people don't like eating non-tasty things. They like tasty things. So it adds another layer. So basically, you're not only looking for molecules that help people, you're looking for molecules that help people and taste good. Another problem is how much concentration do you need for it to act in the human body? You know, so if it's too concentrated, it won't really work. It's not that healthy neither. You don't want them to drink the equivalent of 200 liters of milk to get any benefit out of it. So that's important as well. And then the other thing is the pizza I gave you, the pizza example I gave you earlier. If you add a molecule to pizza, you need to make sure that the other molecules in the pizza are not counter-interacting the molecule you added. So basically that the benefit is still there even when you add it to the complex picture of the pizza. And then also if the, for example, if the peptide can be cooked or not, can it be added to bread, for example, and be cooked, or would that kill its activity? So there's a lot of challenges, and I think one that I forgot to say as well is the cost. So a lot of these are expensive to make. And people are not ready to buy a pizza for 50 euros, even if it did help them lower their diabetes. So these need to be active, they need to taste good, they need to work in human, they need to be cost effective, and whether to add them in baked goods or not. So there's a lot of challenges there, but we are overcoming all these challenges. And bioinformatics is really at the heart of that. Computer science, by integrating all this together, all this data, and going back into food and mining for these peptides, we can. This will be the future of food. Future food will be foods that would actually actively help you live longer and healthier. And of course, I'm not alone working in this project. There's a lot of people, a lot of scientists worldwide working on projects that are related to it. amazing scientists. I worked here with some amazing scientists as part of Health for Ireland, Food for Health Ireland, but also amazing scientists in UC Davis in California. And I met through my career many other great scientists as well. And they're all working together to get this stream up and going and working today. And I just want to make sure that that I got the message that food is really not a problem, it's the solution. And we should challenge food, and we should look at food as the future solution. Thank you very much.